On the last episode, we talked about determining the value of a single asset. That means the package of the artwork, the sound recording, and the composition. And we determined that value from a 0 point of starting with nothing. But this episode, we're going to dig into determining the value when the song is actually put to use. All right, coming up next on the Music Money Makeover Show. What's going on, everybody? My name is Casey Graham. Welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. This is Season 2, Episode 3. And this episode, we're determining the value, and this is Part 2. Part 2 of the show is mainly about determining the value when it comes to the usage of the song. So let's jump right in. Basic considerations to, let's say, give this a framework when we're determining the value of what a song is when it's put to use is the fee, the value, and we'll break that down because we've been talking about value for the last 3 episodes, but the value of the song when it comes to its usage, the importance of the song when it comes to its usage, and the scope of the intended use. All right, so let's jump into the fee. Now, the fee, let's flash it. Bing! All right, so the fee is basically kind of predetermined because the market has been there for a while before you even started creating music. Of course, fees have jumped up since then, but a lot of fees, let's just throw them out the way, have been predetermined for you. So from your PROs to your government, a lot of agencies, a lot of licensing fees have been predetermined and set for you because it would be totally impossible to go forth and determine licensing fees for everybody. Like, say, the performance of your song on television and movies and video games and all this stuff like that, maybe on radio and retail and elevator music and all this stuff like this, and maybe on digital radio. So these fees have been predetermined for you because as a musician, to sit with every entity and determine a fee that you would charge them to play your music would be totally just counterintuitive and counterproductive to what you yourself are trying to do. So a lot of fees have been predetermined, and the fee outside of the predetermined fees are based on the value of your song in the marketplace and the value of other songs in the marketplace. So what we're going to use when we're talking about the fee, this whole episode is synchronization. We're going to utilize television synchronization as our basis, and then we're going to build value on top of that when it comes to the usage of the song. All right, let's go deeper into the value. Now I'm going to throw something up on the screen. Check it out. A music copyright owner's ability to determine the value of a particular song varies depending on his or her experience and access to information about the value of other musical compositions. Now, here is where the tables turn. This is where it goes from creative and say just putting your music on Spotify, and it turns to the business aspect of it. So people who handle a lot of business in the industry or in the music business will help you determine the value of your songs when they are getting used, because you as a musician are only focused on being creative and performing live and doing what it is you do and being famous and all this other stuff. But when it comes to the pricing of these things, it'll take you a while to learn how to price your music when it comes to scope and intended use outside of streaming. All right, you want to trust your team and your attorneys and your managers and your publishers to help you out with this fee, and you're entrusting them with determining these values for you. All right, so that's how you're going to get to this. If you don't know what the market is bearing for certain things, how are you going to price your product the right way, your music product, your content the right way? You can't. So you must know, and that just doesn't come by just reading a couple books. You have to actually be a practitioner in the marketplace. Let's see. Let's get a little bit deeper in the value. There's 2 things I want to touch on, and that's the quantitative factor and the qualitative factor. So let me explain what they mean. The quantitative factor means how much your song has earned so far in the past and what it will earn in the future. And what your song earns will be predicated upon what other songs have earned in your related genre. All right? That's the quantitative factor, the quantity. It also is determined by the amount of songs in that particular genre. All right? So let's place that right there. let's go into the qualitative factor. When we're talking about the qualitative factor, we're talking about the popularity. So that means the quality. If people deem your music popular, all right, or if it's rising in popularity, there's a type of quality with that. The market is saying, hey, this song is pretty good. It also matters when it comes to the demographics of your listeners. So let's say if you have a young audience, okay, that could be great. That means that's the reason why it's popular. But then we also have to look at, okay, what type of genre is it? Is it a very high frequented genre like pop music and, teeny bopper music or hip hop music? Or is it like indie rock music or jazz fusion? What genre is it in? Also, the historical significance of your song. How long has it been out? How long has it been since it started from 0.0 or the 0 point, and then it rose in popularity, and then how long did it last in popularity? Did it just go up and down? Sure. Did it have a major explosion? Was it a slow rise and it just kept rising and it kind of stayed there as a mainstay song? What type of song was it? And these are the things that boil down when it comes to the quality, the qualitative factor. Let's go back to the quantitative factor for a minute. Now, when we're talking about quantity, we have to say how much. So how much will people listen? Or have people listened to this style or your song? All right. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the popularity. How much is the quantitative? And then when we use how much in terms of quality, it gives us a popularity. Okay. So then let's look at how much will people buy? How much will people buy this style of music in the marketplace? All right. Also, how much will people repeat the process again? So if they're not repeating the process again of either streaming your music or this style of music, or if it's a fad, or if it's, I don't know, if it's not good, if they say, it's cool, but I won't listen to it again, then we're losing some quantitative quality here. All right. We're losing the amount of quality at this point. So you want to watch this. If you have repeat listeners, repeat streamers, that means the music is of great quality and it is going to be worth it when it comes to that value, that fee that we talked about earlier. All right, let's dig in a little bit more. Let's go back to qualitative before we get out of here on this section. Now, we want to talk about the quality of your recording. Is it a quality recording or is it not? I don't know. You tell me, because if it's not, then that can bring our price down. If it's a great quality recording, great. And we're going to dump in the mixing, the mastering, and all that, and the production into the quality of the recording. So I just want to bundle all of that together so you understand. If it's terrible, then we're not really going to value it too much. It just depends on how it's used. So let's say the spot could be for indie hip hop. Well, indie hip hop is popular, but it's not mainstream. Mainstream is very popular, but indie hip hop is not. So the fee is going to be here. But if it was commercial hip hop, it'd be here. Big difference. Or if it sounded like something that the supervisors needed to replace, then the fee might be up here. But if it's indie hip hop and it's down here, it's like, quick $500, get out of here. All right. Let's look at that quality. Okay. Let's keep going through the quality actually. Now we have to determine, like I said, your song's popularity level. We were talking about that through and through the quantitative and qualitative. Let's address that popularity thing. All right. Because let's say you're not a mainstream artist, but you have some weight. So let's talk about J. Cole before his first Rock Nation album. He had a lot of weight in the marketplace. He was becoming a real name. He could push his value a little bit more because he was rising, right? To have let's say if J. Cole was just on that tipping iceberg and his song was in an Insecure episode, it would be, okay, we'll give him an extra 1,000 for it, all right? Because something is gonna happen here, or the deal might have just been happening, and let's go ahead and get that sync fee out. Let's turn it up a notch. Okay, you see what I'm saying? You can be right there on the edge of that, household name, right in there, and you can just increase the price a little bit more. If you below that household name, then it'll be an average fee. All right, average fees for synchronization are around $2,000 to $3,000, depending on how long it's being used. But before we jump deep into the scope of the use, we still have to finish up some things on the qualitative. All right, when did the song first become popular? Now, I addressed this earlier in the show, but let's talk about it. If your song became popular, say a year ago, and it just now hit, great. If it became popular 3 years ago, or you put it out 3 years ago and it became popular a year after that, and then it fell, so it's not so popular anymore. Or if it was put out 3 years ago and it's just now getting popular when the usage is coming in, then that will increase the price. It's all about, if you want to increase your price, the popularity is increasing. Doesn't matter when the song came out. It could be something on an Instagram ad, right? And the Instagram ad increases that popularity. Now all of a sudden everyone wants to use your song. Let's say a good example of this might be here's something. Right now there's a TurboTax commercial out, and it is using New Orleans bounce music. Bounce music took a very long time to become popular in the public eye. Now, it first hit in the late 90s and 2000s when it became, widespread nationally. But people still quite didn't get it until the bottom of bounce music really came out with like Big Frida and all these people, and they pushed that to the mainstream. And when it became this popular thing, then everybody's like, oh, this sound is something. Now you hear Drake using it. It's not that he hasn't used it before. And then you see the mainstream utilize it in a TurboTax commercial, which I don't really like that commercial. I think it's very corny, but that's just my opinion. As I said before, and we'll close this section out, when it comes to determining the value based on the quantitative and the qualitative factors of your recording, it's all speculative, all right? So that's why your team is very important when it comes to choosing a price point for your musical content. Now, let's dig into the importance of the song and its intended use. So the more important the song is in relation to its intended use, the more pricier you can push it, right? Let's talk about that. So let's explain it. Let's say you have a song and they want to use it for a television show, and the person in the show is actually singing your lyrics. That makes it highly important. That means that once they shot the show, they can't change that scene unless they cut it completely out. If they're going to use it, they're going to use your song, and they have to sync that song. So now it's very important. It's worth more than a standard $3,000 fee. Let's bump it to $5,000, $6,000. On top of that, if it's a major song, let's bump it to $10,000. Now that's a little bit much for an episode, but not for a movie, right? So, we have to consider those factors. Let's say it's an advertisement and they use your lyrics in the actual video or the video form of the advertisement. Okay, so then now we can really bump the price on this. Now, advertisements, man, we can get well into the six figures on advertisements. But if we're going to use the lyrics and display them, right? Now the lyrics are a part of the actual commercial. It's not just the music making the mood of the commercial, but we're using a part of the song as a displayed ad when it comes to the lyrics. At this point, we have now shot our value of this usage up because it's very important to this product or to this usage. Why is the song being used? That's a real question that you need to ask. Also, how will the song be used? Now, will there be any changes to my song? Let me give you an example of this. Back in the day, this had to be 2001, 2003, whatever it was the Black Eyed Peas Ella Funk album. When that came out, the song, one of my favorite songs on that album was Get Retarded, or Let's Get Retarded. It wasn't a single yet. It was just on the album. When the TNT commercial came out for the playoffs that year, they wanted to use that song as promo, but they had to change the lyrics around. So it was no longer let's get retarded, it was let's get it started. It might have been laying around already, but when they distributed the album, it was let's get retarded. It wasn't until that usage happened that it skyrocketed, and then that became the single, let's get it started, okay? So now this song, that version of the song is the version that you hear everywhere. They still play that song on all kinds of playlists, anywhere where there's families and fun and theme parks and all this stuff involved, you hear let's get it started. So if there's going to be changes to your song to make it customary to what they're doing, we're talking about really shooting the value up, because we have to make changes now. Anytime we have to make changes, then now we can really pull in some bread. We can pull in some cash flow, all right? So let's go to our last step, the scope of the intended use. This is the most important factor when it comes to determining the value of your song when it's going to be put or licensed to a certain use. Check this out. Music holders or copyright owners should avoid licensing a song beyond what it will be used for. So everything that you do, when someone sends you a license, you must ask a few questions. What type of media will the song be used on? Now, well, we're asking these questions because we need to know, okay, we need to keep the song inside the scope. If you're planning to do anything else outside of the scope of your use, we have to put this in the contract, okay? What type of media will the song be used on or in? Is it just on a streaming service like a Netflix? Is it just on, let's say, a DVD and Blu-ray release film? Will it be in theaters? Will it only be on television and the related app for that television channel? Is it only on, I don't know, let's say a gaming device? Is it only on Xbox, Nintendo? Is it only on a game in the App Store or an app in the App Store? Where will the song lie? In what physical media medium? What will be the term of the usage? How long will the song be used? Is it for the lifetime of the game, the lifetime of the app? Is it for, the 20-some years, or when the show gets syndicated? I think the show has to have something like 100 episodes before it's eligible to get syndicated, because the longer the length, the more money we can start asking for, or saying, hey, look, let's increase the back-end royalty. There's a lot of things that we have to add in for these usages. So we must consider these things. The territory. Will it be, let's say if it's an advertisement, will it be a Southeast region, advertisement? Will it be a Northwest, Southwest, Northeast? What region will it be advertised in? Will it only be in Mexico? Will it be in Germany? Will it be in Africa? What part of Africa? Will it be in Mali? Will it be in Egypt? Will it be in Sudan? Well, will it be in Kenya? Will it be, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Will it only be in India? Will it be in, Pakistan only? Where will this advertisement live? How long? What's the usage? All these questions matter when it becomes, when it boils down to the point of determining the value of your song in a licensed, used medium. All right? Now, we got two things left. Let's address them. The exclusivity. The exclusivity matters, because if you tell me that the license will only be exclusive for, or I can't license my song for another use or this type of use for 2 years, then that's really going to bump the price up. Why? Because I can't give it to anybody else. Let's say if I license a song for Walmart, for a Walmart commercial, and it's popular, I can't go to Target or a competitor and license the same song for until that advertisement run is over, plus an extra year or something like that, right? Because it's taking customers away. So we want to consider that. If it's going to be exclusive, we really got to turn up the price some more. All right. Last thing. Are there any special terms or conditions? All right. Now, this could be anything. This could boil back to the editing. This could be, do I need to remix my song for your use? Do I need to re-record some lyrics for your use? What do I need to do? What special terms do you want me to be in the commercial or the movie or the television show singing my song? What are we doing here with this special use, these special terms? All of these questions are important when it comes to determining the usage of your song and valuing that, all right? There's so many factors, and this is why you as a musician need to have a trusted team of attorneys, label owners, or A&Rs, not A&Rs, kick them out because they really don't determine value of anything when it comes to licensing. The publishers will, and the owners of the record label will, all right? Or the business affairs department will. Okay, but mainly the publishers, because this is what they delve in, licensing for the songs, all right? So, hey, look, that's been the show. Thank you all for tuning in. If you like what you heard and saw, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. It's on one of these two sides. It should be over here, and hit the like button over here. And then if you really love what you saw, go ahead and click the notification bell. Leave a comment below. And last thing, I got some good stuff for you. If you want to download a profit maximization checklist, you can. It's going to be down below because I'm teaching you how to maximize the profit from your music release, all right? Not leaving money on the table. So if you want to download a profit maximization checklist, you can. It's in the link down in the description, all right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next week. Peace.